What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of the show Delilah. This is season 1, episode 4, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, Andre, okay? And y'all know Andre is that nigga that was up in the house with Christine, okay? And we got to find out who he is. I'm going to be 100% honest. This episode didn't really give me much, okay? It really didn't do much for me. It's 12 o'clock. It is literally 12 o'clock right about now. And I have to go to work in the morning. So I'm going to give y'all a good little review. Uh, Delilah. Delilah and her brother, first of all, it starts off with Delilah and her brother. And the situation with them is just so chaotic at this point. Delilah, you could tell she's the big sister. And she's just looking out for her brother. And she don't want him to get hurt any further. So she got the bombshell news that Nate is involved in this radio situation, this case that's going on. And he didn't even know it, that he's in it. Okay. Because you know, she found a report that was given to the army or whatever, and saying that when it comes to Nate's case, the reason why he got hurt was equipment malfunction. But Nate said something else, like he didn't remember what happened. And Mason had said, well, if they have a report, I'm pretty sure they gave him a report, so we need to go see what his report is. So that's why she went down there to the facility where he's at, and he's getting ready to come home in a week or so. So they got to go through this whole program to see if the house is fitted, because they have to make adjustments. They have to build stuff, ramps, and make sure that it's wheelchair accessible. Okay. And so Delilah comes down there to talk to Nate, and because she found some report that he was supposedly given, um, you know, he did get the report, but he didn't look at it. He hasn't looked at it, you know. And he's been in that facility for 5 months. He's been home for 5 months, and he's been back from the military for 5 months, and he haven't looked at the report just because he didn't want to look at it. All he knows is that he got into an accident or something happened that he woke up in the hospital. He don't know any of the details. So when Delilah goes home and she looks at the reports, um, you got the one from the military and the one that they gave Nate. On the one that they gave Nate, or the military or whatever, it says other as to accident details. On the other one that they gave Nate, or whichever one, it says, equipment malfunction. Uh, then she looked down to see who signed off on this. Both of them says the same sergeant, okay? And they trying to figure out, why would this person give out two different reports, one to the person and one to the military? What is he trying to hide? Then we find out that the man was dishonorably discharged and was doing some other stuff, and they trying to find him. Let me just tell you this: Harper and Demetria, they gonna wind up fighting. I need to know Demetria's backstory, okay? Because Mama, I'm sorry if y'all can hear me breathing, because my sinus has been acting up. So forgive me, because I can hear myself when I breathe in. But anyway, Demetria is gonna get her ass read by Harper, okay? And Harper probably gonna make her cry. Okay, it is coming because it's been building up. Now, when um we first saw Demetria, she came at Delilah saying, basically, I saw you win this, or try to go at this case for this girl who got pulled over, this black woman who got pulled over in a car, and basically was given the blues or whatever because she had a fancy car. And of course, can't no black woman or black person in general have such a fancy car. Come to find out, she lost the case, but the person that she lost the case of, that was actually Harper, okay? And Demetria keeps on referencing this case, all right? And it's bothering Harper. The way that she, was messing with her name tag, and going through the history. Obviously, she's very well educated. She knows about the Nigerian culture, the African culture. She knew that the girl's name was Nigerian, last name was Nigerian, and what it meant. And she gave a little history about her name and everything. But she wanted to send out this deposition to some paperwork or whatever, filing on this sergeant, okay, and Fred Osborne. But she had Delilah, Harper told her, chill out, wait until Delilah comes back and you ask her and you tell her that, okay? But of course she gonna tell her to go ahead and do it. But before this, Delilah wanted to give all this information that she found out about this accident report involving Nate to Tamara, and hoping that Tamara will understand now that this case is deeper than we think it is, and that these radios is really being faulty, or somebody is really trying to hide something, whether it's the military or it's Fred Osborne, okay? So at this point, you know, we get this whole thing with Tamara. She's on the phone with you know, her husband, well, her soon to be husband. Obviously, I didn't know. I thought they were husband and wife already. He had a little surprise for her. And basically, it was an engagement, surprise engagement. And I was like, okay, that's cute or whatever. It looks a little boring and all that stuff. I don't know. When I look at Casey, he don't look like the type that know how to have some spontaneous fun or whatever that'll be exciting and just, ram me up against the wall or something like that. Like, he don't look like that type. He look like a black man that just do missionary. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but he just gives me that feel for some reason. Like, Tamara and Casey gives me bourgeoisie, okay? They give me bougie, classic people, okay? Bougie blacks that came from the projects and don't know where they came from. That's what they give me, okay? Like, all of a sudden they got this money and they privileged now. That is what they give me, okay? Delilah is just a little bit more relatable to me because she's a single mother. I mean, not the single mother part, but it's the fact that she still feels like she has humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? She's not striving to be anything, but she's striving to help other people, And we see in Tamara's case, she's striving to be a partner at a law firm. Delilah got her own law firm, you know what I'm saying? So after that, she wanted to come over there and to give the information to Tamara, because not only in that report did they find out that the sergeant is signing off and doing some crappy stuff, he did this on 6 other reports, okay? So she goes over there to Casey and Tamara's house, Delilah, and, this is when we find out about the engagement. And so, of course, Tamara is happy and everything and thinking, oh, yes, you came over here, meaning because they were on the fence. They was on the rocks. You know what I'm saying? Because last week they had just got into it. Delilah said, I can't be there for you right now because I don't know how y'all working at this point. Delilah was pissed off at Tamara because of the whole situation that blew up last week when they brought that fake ass actress in there to be the news reporter. You know what I'm saying? And so at this point, Delilah was trying to be there for her friend and be happy for her engagement and whatnot. And while she was trying to do that, she wanted to just give her the news later, but Tamara insisted. So she told her, it's 6 other reports in here that's saying the same thing, and Nate is involved. And so, because that's her brother, of course, Tamara is going to take a look at it. Tamara, she does take a look at the whole thing the next day, and she said she's going to go to, before she go to Win, she wants to see and talk to Fred Osborne, okay? She goes down there to talk to that man and see what's going on with this goddamn radio and see if it's a cover up. And would you be willing to do this? And would you be willing to go under oath and all this stuff? I'm a Christian man, and the only person that I serve higher that tells me something is God and all this stuff. I hate when people do stuff like that, okay? And be lying their asses off. Derek Jackson. Bitch, wait till we get into that tomorrow, okay? Later today, I should say. But anyway, she wanted to understand and see, like, if you all to the good, let me see the radio. You know what I'm saying? She's trying to, figure it out herself before she goes to the big boss to Win, who is the head of her firm at this point, and to see what they're going to do with this case. So at this point, they go down there. She's saying all this to Fred. Fred gets a little bit offended, calls this lady named Raquel, and she's like the boss of Gary Shea or whatever, what he used to be. And so this is where the shit got complicated. I was sitting here like, what the hell y'all talking about? They was talking about the radios. That's all I'm gonna say. They was talking about the radios and detonations and explosives and shit like that. And this radio, you got to be on this frequency and you got to have this code to let stuff detonate. And that's why I trust it and it won't go off. And it was fully loaded and it was explosives and all this stuff. And the stuff didn't go off in 30 seconds and all this shit, right? So, Wynn gets a hold of this because the fact that Fred called Wynn. This is the man that's the head of, Tamara's law firm. So of course, Tamara comes in there and he's basically trying to make it seem like, you kind of disrespected this man by going down there and not believing his story. Okay, we are here to defend him. You know what I'm saying? And if he told you, I hope you're satisfied with what he told you. He told you he had nothing to do with it and everything is working correctly. And you said that this Leah girl is nothing but trouble, whatever. So, what is the issue? And her issue is, yeah, they told me that the stuff was working correctly. They told me that the explosives was in there and that it could have detonated or whatever. But I don't know if that was true. I didn't see them put it together. It could have been a facade, which I feel like it was a ruse. Okay, they was putting on, and he was just trying to comfort her, and trying to make her feel like if you really want this partnership, what you're going to do is you're going to send a message to Fred and thank him. That's what you're going to do. If you really want this partnership, okay? And then, we're saying if you don't want to do this case, we could give it to somebody else, okay? So of course, Tamara chose the case. And that kind of made me mad. I was like, girl, is it really worth it? Flip it and reverse it. Is it, girl? And she's one of those go-getters. She's not going to let anything go in between her, come in between her to get into her goal, including friendship, all right? And in some cases, I understand, okay? But in this case, something ain't right. Tamara, something is not right. You got Nate involved. You got somebody else that involved. And all this other stuff is coming up. It's just not adding up, and you still going to take it? I couldn't be a defense lawyer if I was a lawyer. I couldn't do that. Okay. Um, you know, Delilah, she gets a phone call from Jamal. He wants to go out on a little date. At first she says no because he wants to take her to a basketball game. But then she was like, we can go to a little place to eat or whatever. And then they do that. I'm just fast forwarding through these things that's a little insignificant. We get a little bit of information and background on him. He's from Santo Domingo, went to New York, and the way that he know Casey is that the mom used to do multiple jobs, and when she left, she would leave him with the neighbor, and the neighbor happened to be Casey's aunt, and so they was cool with each other. Casey was a few years older than him. They used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Casey helped him learn English. Okay, I said, Delilah, for somebody that really wasn't sure about going out on a date with him, you showed up, was walking down the street holding his arm and everything. I said, oh, y'all got comfortable, huh? Now let me just tell you this. Who is doing Delilah hair? Who is doing Delilah hair? Let me tell you something. Y'all ain't shit. I gotta pause this story to just get on this because it's been bothering me for 3 weeks, okay? Who is doing Delilah's hair? Now, y'all got Tony Childs, a.k.a. Tamara, a.k.a. Jill Marie Jones, a.k.a. my future boo on here, with this bob that's laid, okay? Mama said stiff wear, okay? It moves and it goes right back to place, you know what I'm saying? And it fits her face. What is up with the wigs or the hair that is on Delilah? This is a black show on a black network from black creators. And you mean to tell me you ain't got no black hairstylist that can give her a better wig or a better blowout than that? Okay, bitch, I would have felt some type of way if I would have seen her show up with her hair looking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you could at least brushed it down a little bit more. Her wig's it's just been bothering me. I don't get it. And it be making her, like, the hair makes Delilah, the actress that played Delilah, look a little bit older than what she is, okay? And that bothers me, You got to have the right hair to frame your face. You know what I'm saying? Hair does something for you, okay? Hair is a powerful thing when it's done right. It really is, okay? I'm just saying. But anyway, they do their little thing. We get to the kids, and I like the scene with the boys were out there trying to help her figure out what type of clothes she was gonna wear, whatever. Why don't you just wear the clothes that you got on? Little Dion is so cute. Oh yeah, and the little boy that played Marcus, if you have been watching the Genius Aretha Franklin series on National Geographic or Netflix, I mean not Netflix, Hulu, because it comes on Hulu the next day. The little boy that played Marcus plays one of the sons of Aretha Franklin on the show. He's one of the actors. I was like, oh, that is so nice to see people that, in other shows. I said, they out here getting this work in pandemic time. I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. But anyway, moving on from that, what else happened? So Delilah had to go up there to the little VA thing or whatever with her brother. They was finna have a meeting to get him assessed, went into what to expect when they get to go home and all this stuff. And Tamara had called her and was letting her know what was said. And so she was like, I don't know what's gonna happen or whatever, but basically Delilah finds out that Tamara, she's gonna keep on the case, okay? After she was being nice, tell Nate that I'm praying for you. Delilah hung up in her face, okay? Because Delilah ain't got time for this bitch. Like you really choosing partnership over friendship, and it's not necessarily friendship. It's what's right. You know what I'm saying? And I say, well, that's the conflict when you. That's why I say I can be a defense lawyer if I wanted to go into be into law. I couldn't be a defense lawyer because my conscience, my morals, it just wouldn't allow me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Defending somebody that I know is guilty. You did this and I have to defend you. You know what I'm saying? And then to have them continue to lie to me, I just couldn't deal with it. Um, so they go in there and have this meeting. First of all, the dad is there and they're going through all the specification of what they need to do. We come to find out that the dad's now wife or significant other, Francis is footing the bill for having the place refitted, for him to be wheelchair accessible, and so at this point they trying to figure out a time to go to the house to check things out. And they was like 4 o'clock. Okay, that's fine. But Delilah said, that really doesn't work for her. Maybe 4:30 is better. And then the brother was like, well, you really don't have to go. And she was like, what you mean? He was like, I mean, with all this stuff and the negativity that happened with you and Christine, we don't need that. But ever since you've been up in here, it's been like a negative vibe. You've been sitting here with you pouting and all this stuff. It's just real negative. So of course she gets in her feelings or whatever, and she do come off a little harsh when you talk about Christine, and it's only because Christine is bogus. I don't know what her problem is. I understand that you feel a type of way about the fact, and let me just go there. They go to the house and they trying to fit the stuff and they talking about it, and she just sitting there with this mug on her face, and it's just like she disgusted with Nate. And I understand that you feel some type of way because you told him not to take a second term in the military, but you went on ahead and did it. He went on ahead and did it, and then he came back disabled and paralyzed, and that's not what you had in the plans, okay? And Christine basically shut down from him. And my whole thing is, if you can't see yourself loving this man for what he did and getting past it and letting the love grow, and if you feel like the love is gone, leave him, divorce him, because you already not being a mother, and that is affecting that child. Okay, just take them out their misery and move yourself out the picture. You're literally living in his home. Okay, and you got another man up in there, and even Delilah brought up Andre. What about Andre? What about this or whatever? And she talked about some, I can't do this. I can't do this. I was like, girl, I thought she was about to step. When she bursted out and said, no, I can't do this, okay? I thought Christine was about to put out that, I'm gonna go live with Andre because that's my man now. I literally thought that she was about to admit that she was fucking Andre, okay? Andre, the goddamn giant bitch. I thought that was about to happen, but it didn't, all right? Um, so, that wind up happening, and then we get a little scene, cute little scene with the kid, Maya. I think her name is Maya, the daughter. She has violin lessons, and it's not going well. The teacher is wanting her to basically dig a little deeper with her notes and her plan and to really feel it and tell a story. And, she's trying to understand where she's coming from, but she just can't click yet. Okay. Moving on from that, um, girl, what else happened? So we wind up, after Delilah gets the news that Tamara is still going to be on the case, she told Demetria to go ahead and to, I know Demetria, oh, I'll tell you a story about that later. Demetria was my first love. Wow, I just realized that her name was Demetria. Listen, no, and I'm talking about the character. I'm like, why does it sound so familiar? Because I know Demetria. She's my first love. Anyway, um, when I finally fell in love, that was my first love. Girl. Woo. Anyway, moving on from that. Anyway, and that took a long time for me to get there. That took a long time. That was like, I ain't gonna lie. That took a long time for me to get there and be able to say somebody was my first love. I was a grown ass person before I found out that I finally like fell in love. Like fell in love. Like I never thought that I could ever feel that. Why am I telling y'all that? Why am I telling y'all that? Moving on. Anyway, it's just sometimes you be watching stuff and it triggers some emotions and shit, some memories, okay? But anyway, so she was like, go ahead and file that paperwork or whatever because she pissed off at Tamara at this point. I said, I hope they friendship lasts, but at this point, it's hanging on by a goddamn string and I don't like it, you know? And so we see this scene where Demetria was at home and she's not the bubbly Demetria that we see. It looked like she's in this studio type apartment, or it could be a studio apartment, or it could be just a 1 bedroom. And she got this little kitchen nook in the kitchen. She making her some rice and beans. And I was like, can she not afford to get something else, or is that just what she wanted? I was really confused by this scene a little bit. She sat there at the table and she had another plate in front of her and a cup as if it was waiting for somebody to come. And then she tried to eat, but then she had a little breakdown. Now, is they trying to show us that sometimes when we see people that are really bubbly and, you know, uh, really bubbly like and all excitable and so extra whatever, that it looks can be deceiving and they can truly be hurting and depressed in the inside. That's what I think that they're showing. So I don't know, okay? But at the end of the episode, Delilah gets a phone call from Leah, all right? Earlier in the episode, Leah calls Delilah nervously and says that she just got some paperwork from Fred Osborne and them saying she needs to hand over the cell phone and the laptop because it's their property or whatever. And she was like, it's not their property or whatever, so what should I do? And she was like, just bring it to the office, okay? I'll clone it and then we can give it back to him. And she was like, okay, okay. She was stumbling like that. And then Delilah was like, is there going to be a problem? She was like, yeah, no. It's okay. It's okay. We can do it. And right then and there, I was like, Leah is really the suspicious one at this point. We supposed to be helping and rooting for her to get out of this situation, but she's making it hard for us to be 100% on her side because she's not telling us everything. Right then and there, I knew she was hiding something else, but we don't know what else is going on. So at the end of the episode, she calls Delilah while she's on her date, and she was acting like she gets home. She said somebody is in my house. She hasn't turned over the laptop yet at this point, and she should have already done that. She says, I think somebody's in my house. And she was like, just hold on. Just hold on. Next thing you know, we hear Leah screaming like, no, what you doing? What you doing? Let me go. I said, oh, Lord, Leah. Leah. This girl is going to give us a goddamn time. But anyway, that was Delilah. I hope that y'all was able to follow that review. Please don't judge me if you can't. I'm just a little bit tired. Okay, I like the series. I really do. It's not too much, but like I said, this episode didn't give that much. But next week looks like it's gonna be really good. But y'all tell me how y'all feel, and I will see you guys tomorrow for what it is. Peace.